want to hold on to me a little longer. So I can't be there with you this year again. Mostly, I want you to know that while the ruling was disappointing, just an aside, this was the appeal. It's not discouraging. I've not given up on freedom. Sorry, I haven't used technology in like almost 12 years. Come help me. Okay, so the ruling was appropriate for my appeal. So it's not discouraging. I've not given up on freedom and hold out hope that the Supreme Court, a presidential pardon, or some other legal avenue will right the wrong that's been done to me. Someday, whether it's because I've finally been vindicated or because there's no recourse left, I'll tell my side of the Silk Road story and set the record straight. Your faith in me and all of your support in the meantime is truly inspiring. I draw strength from you daily and find the will to keep fighting. Epictetus, a stoic philosopher, once said, "It's not events themselves that disturb people, but only their judgments about them." When the appellate court affirmed my conviction, all that actually happened was some men wrote some words down. No one died. The next day was largely the same as the one before it. Life goes on. Our only choice is how to live this day and then the next. Whatever difficulties you face right now, put aside your judgments about them and live what life you have to the fullest. Our days are too short and precious to waste. All my love, Ross. So I was back in 2017, and there's something I learned about freedom and liberty while I was in there. Because before I went to prison, and before I made Silk Road, my focus was on what I'll call political freedom. Be free from the coercion of an oppressive government or just other people forcing you to behave some way that you don't want to when you're not hurting anyone else. That's political freedom, and it's important, obviously. But there's another kind of freedom that I'll call personal freedom. And what I realized in prison is that even if I had all the political freedom that I wanted, and I was truly, truly free, I could still be a prisoner. I could be a prisoner in my mind and in my heart. I wanted out of that cage so bad. There were days where just every fiber of my being was like, "Oh, get me out of here. I can't take another day." Sometimes those days stacked. And the next day, it just got worse. And I saw a lot of men who got broken by it. Just could not accept what had happened. And chafed against the shackles and the bars, and the lockdowns, and the bossy guards, and all the rest. But eventually I saw that this is not helping. Resisting what had happened to me was draining me. It was They took my body, but I was giving them my mind. You understand what I'm saying? So I took my mind back. I said, I get to choose how my day goes. I'm going to even in those circumstances I was in, I had choices. And the more I could get more choices, the more I could decide for myself how things were going to go, the more freedom I had. That's freedom, having those choices. My day is going to be miserable because all I'm looking at is miserable people and gray concrete. Everything's hard, and everything's hot, and everything sucks. That's the only option in front of me, is to just keep being miserable. I said no. So I realized that, wow, I have this freedom. I wanted to understand that. I want to understand what gives me this freedom. And what is it that imprisons me in my mind? And the root of it is desire. Desire. We all have desires. It's part of our human condition. And for me, my desire was freedom. Physical freedom, political freedom. I want to have a cage, right? And not getting what I want. Hitting up against the walls every day. It was killing me. I was suffering over it. And so, in order to break free from that cage, what I had to do was, and it's going to sound crazy, it's going to sound paradoxical, I had to give up that desire. I had to stop wanting it so bad all the time. There was a moment, I was imprisoned in Tucson, Arizona. Who's been to Tucson, Arizona in July? It's the hottest place on earth. It seems that way. It gets up to like 115 and it's dry heat, intense sun. But you gotta get outside. I mean, it's just one-way track to depression if you don't get outside in prison, and probably anywhere. So I was out there on the rec yard. People running around. I was just sitting there on the bench. And, every reason in the world to desire a change of state. Gosh, it could be cooler. Gosh, I could be with my family. Gosh, those annoying people over there could shut up. Just on and on and on. No end of possible ways that I could complain about my life. And there was this moment that I'll just never forget where I just stopped. I just stopped wanting anything except for what I had. And it was like the most liberating experience I've ever felt. I was so at peace. I felt so happy. I don't know how it's even possible looking back on it. I was happy. Just sitting there on that bench, hanging out, feeling the heat, watching the pigeons. The call went out on the intercom. Yard recall. It's time to go back to the cell. Just sitting there. Didn't even, eventually I was like the last person on the yard. Okay, I'll walk back to the cell. And I'm sharing that with you now because, well, first let me point something else out. because I think that it's so ingrained in us to want. More, better, different, achieve. And it's rooted in survival. We need more. We need to secure ourselves. We need. And to hear something like this, I think there's part of us that says, he's crazy. If I stop wanting, if I stop desiring, I'll starve to death. I gotta want food. I gotta want shelter. What's he talking about? I promise you it's gonna be okay. Yeah, you can put that burden down sometimes. And I believe that by discovering this way out of the mental prison of desire, I was actually more effective in bringing about the outcome that I wanted, which is freedom. And I'm not entirely sure how to pinpoint the mechanism, but I think it had something to do with being more likable. When you're just at peace, people like you. When I'm not pissed off because I'm not getting my way and fighting with my wife or my mom, they're going, he's just such a good guy, he needs to get out. And I see more clearly when my mind is not clouded by desires and my attention is being pulled in every direction. And I can see, I need to show the people in my life a little more love right now. I need to be a little more grateful for what I have. I need to, get the attention on myself and see where I can help out with people around me. And there was no end to people who needed help where I was. So I chose to talk to you about this today because it may be the case that some of you are in the mindset that I was before I created Stoic, where I wanted more freedom. I wanted liberty. I felt that I was righteous and that the way the world was wrong. I wanted a state change. State meaning like the state of the world. And I wish that I had hit pause and let go of that for a minute. And gained a little perspective. Because after going to prison, perspective was forced on me. I had to face my mother's tears. I had to look myself in the mirror in that prison cell, ask myself, dear God, what have I done? I've ruined my life. That is a tough pill to swallow, and I had to swallow it. That was the only way to accept that, in all likelihood, I'll be looking at myself in this mirror and watching the man looking back at me grow old and gray, and eventually sick. No. And it's just a miracle that it didn't happen. Amen. It's a total miracle. And God is love, and the love that you showed me was divine, and the outcome is a miracle. The fact that President Trump survived campaign, that he saw the political capital that was in you and so many others who supported me, that he, unlike so many politicians, was true to his word, almost to the hour. We all came together, and I hope that I can't encapsulate it in words. It's beyond words, but I hope I was able to give back to you a little bit. You know, I learned that about desire the hard way, and I believe it's universal. I believe that we can all benefit from putting those desires to the side for a moment and just want what you already have. Be grateful for what you have. Take stock in the people around you who love you and you love. Look at the material abundance that we live in. Prison is it's deprivation. Right? It's deprivation. Put you in a box and give you the bare minimum. So not only did I come back into freedom and abundance, but I'm like 11 years into the future. And I know the world seems crazy right now, but progress has been made, and it's a pretty awesome world that we live in. Just give up all goals and planning and desire. Desire is always going to be there. You're not going to lose it. It's going to come back. Just put it down. That's it. And the benefits outweigh the costs. Okay, the little time that you spend not straining against reality, you'll gain back in peace and energy and just effectiveness in your life. Thank you for your attention.